From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In tonight's big breaking news reporting, we'll be going over those monthly stimulus checks and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people in the fourth stimulus recon. It's the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel, and it's a lot of money, and I'll go over all the details of that in the second part of this video. Then we cut to the bill and the vote-in, with one bill going to a vote on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of breaking news this weekend. Stay with me all weekend long. And then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raise your benefits lifetime. And finally, one viewer breaking all records of this channel, getting $50,000 overnight for rent, utilities, SNAP, and more. It's a big night with a lot of breaking news happening about the recon and the bipartisan across the land from the West Coast to the East Coast. America's waiting. And here we go as Evenings LA starts right now. Thank you for joining me on a big night with a lot of breaking news, but this weekend is going to be even bigger because Congress will be in session on Saturday and Sunday and voting on legislation. So stay with me all weekend long. I will be here live and taped all Saturday and Sunday. And with that, how's the weather? It's been beautiful. I mean, even better than beautiful here in Southern California. Santa Monica has been paradise today. Absolutely paradise. I think I'm your tourist coordinator. How are you? Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather where you are tonight on this big Evening to LA broadcast. We're going to go over those monthly stimulus checks and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks. $1 trillion checks are coming to you in this fourth stimulus recon. It's incredible, great news. Then we cut to the vote-in for tomorrow, Saturday. It's going to be a big day with a lot of votes at hand. And then they go into another body of legislation right after that. I'll go over all the details breaking on this Evening to LA broadcast. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which the president promised during the campaign trail. It's now happening. It's the raise of your benefits a lifetime. And then finally, all records have been broken with this incredible revelation. Wow. Mark got $50,000 from this channel overnight, $25,000 of rent, $6,500 for utilities, $19,000 for SNAP. I'm going to show you how you can get all these fortunes because everyone else is as well on this channel. And this, America, is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, live in the morning, taped in the afternoons, 24 hours a day. It's weekends like this that you want to be plugged in to LA with breaking news happening all weekend long. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Once you're part of this channel, hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth this week. Also, like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. And thank you for 2 nights ago where we had over 200 new Purple Hawks join this incredible community. Let's cut right to that monthly stimulus check, House versus Senate, Senate versus House, starting right now. Well, when you look at the number of checks, it's all dependent upon both the number and the payout. House, pandemic plus 1 year monthly stimulus check. July to December, however, is the Senate. Let's go over the payouts. House, $1,000 a month after the first month. Senate monthly unknown, but word on the street is the Senate would pay you this deliciousness. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. The pandemic's far from over, we now learned. In fact, we're now dealing with the question about Delta and Delta Plus and also Lambda. So the House bill would certainly pay what it's written for, which is pandemic plus 1 year, which would be at least 1 year of checks, which would be more than 12 checks, which would be more than $13,000 under the House plan. So compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate, House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Well, Who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that if you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth. Single individuals, 75,000 or less. Democrats represent you're getting a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less. Democrats represent you're getting a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four. Democrats represent you're getting a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries, Democrats represent you're getting a fourth stimulus check. It's not income. It's not taxable. It would be the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else. And it's not a waivable check. And I keep on forgetting that. I was at the beach a week ago, maybe it's 2 weeks ago, recording live. And I saw your comments on Afternoons LA today. People say, do it again, do it again. I'll try my best. And I was on the beach and someone said, LA, is that the check behind you? And I said, oh, it is. The viewer said, wave at the check. No joke. This is actually the exchange. Wave at the check, LA. Sorry, Ted. Okay, hey, Chuck. How are you? It's me, LA. I was going to go to Ron Portman's, but, good to see you, Chuck. Didn't wave back again. Rude check. Didn't wave back at me. The viewer said, no, LA. It's just not a waivable check. I watch your videos. And there you go. Well, the recon is getting deliciousness because guess what? You saw in the opening of this video that viewers are getting $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 from third stimulus, which was this big. Well, now fourth stimulus is happening. $3.5 trillion, and it's this big. Imagine how much you're getting. That's coming up in the second half of this video. The recon is done. It's a deal. All they have to do is call the vote. The Democratic caucus has agreed in the last 2 weeks, twice, to pass the recon in a $3.5 trillion package. That's coming up the second half of this video. Then we cut to the excitement of what's happening on Saturday. They're calling the vote on something. I'll go explain all the details in the third part of this video. But first, let's get some money. Boy, get that pen and paper ready, because I'm going to get you some rent, some utilities, some food, some internet, and some mortgage and homeowner's assistance. When I first started recording these videos a few weeks ago, I said, I can get you, 4 to 6 months of rent, about, maybe $5,000. I was wrong. I'm really sorry. I can't get you $5,000. No. I can get you instead $27,000. Congratulations, Elizabeth and Mark, $25,000, and Nancy, $24,000, and Richard, $22,000, and Nisi, $20,000, and the list goes on and on. Pamela got $12,000. Carla got money. Tiffany got $13,000 for rent. Randy got $6,000. Some of these viewers got multiple items, by the way. Jennifer got $5,000. Cecilia got money. Wow, just incredible. And then when I talked about utilities, I said I can get you $300 for utilities. I was wrong. I can't get you $300 of utilities. I can't get $300, but I can get you $7,000 for utilities. Wow, Nancy, congratulations. And Mark number one got $6,500 for utilities. Angela got $5,000. For when we talked about SNAP, I said, some viewers are getting $5,000, $6,000 a SNAP. I can get you that probably. Well, guess what happened? This is what happened. Whoa, Louie, incredible. Louie, $18,000 for SNAP from watching the videos of this channel, and John, $10,000, and Nancy, $5,000. If you notice people getting multiple sums of money, you're ready for this. Yes, people have been getting multiple sums of money, and let's see what their grand total has been. You ready? Bam. Wow, Nancy got $32,000 from watching this channel. It's incredible. Mark number one got $32,000. Nisi got $23,000. These are Purple Hawks. These are subscribers. These are members that understand that a stimulus check is one thing, but this is a whole nother level. They understand that there's big sums of money in all these stimulus packages for them to get, and they watch these videos religiously and got the money. And finally, overnight, history was made. Are you ready? Wow. Mark number two, congratulations. $50,000 Mark number two got from this channel. He listened attentively, he said, and he watched the videos, and he understood he can get multiple sums of money, and he didn't stop. After he got the rent, then he went and got the SNAP, then he got the utilities. He's now telling his neighbors, watch that kid Lalate. He's getting people big sums of money. He's getting you money that is far bigger than a stimulus check. You need to watch him. Thank you for your very kind messages on private messaging, Mark number two. I really appreciate it. And this is Lalate. This is what we do. This is what you do. We cash enormous checks. I launched this channel in April of last year to get people EIDL loan and EIDL grants. They weren't coming. They weren't coming. No calendar to look at, no date to track, no check to track. It wasn't coming. I stepped in, I got approved. I got viewers $25 million of EID alone and grants approved, the biggest payout anywhere in the planet. Then in fall of 2020, people were not getting their checks for second stimulus because it wasn't law yet. So I stepped forward and I got viewers $250,000 of rent. Incredible. Viewers like Tyrone, his family of four out of Boston, got $15,000. And now we're doing it again. The only difference is you. I've never seen numbers like this. Congratulate yourselves. Congratulate the other viewers. Get that pen and paper ready right now, though. If you've not got to the money, tonight's your night. We're going to go over big sums of money I'm going to get you. Each place a different eligibility. Reach out to one until you reach out to the next until you get approval. They all have different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. They also have their own pot of money. Also listen to the keywords I mentioned because viewers say that helps them get approved. Are you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus, or Mitch's lobster delicious omelet. It just sounds awful. It just doesn't sound tasty. It's sort of like, Ron Portman's pork belly sandwich. It just, not on my menu. There you go. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this wonderful pot of money for rent and utilities. If you got as well, post it, your rent and utility success story right in the live chat right now. Let's turn to some Snap. And you saw Louis, he got $18,000. You saw Mark number 2, he got $19,000. Snap is incredible. What is it? It's money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them and get it. Len Glenn got it for herself and her son. Her mom, Gail, got it as well. It is eligibility easier than a stimulus check, so why would you not get it? A family of 4 out of Hawaii gets paid upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. We're killing it. You're killing it. $27,000 for rent, $7,000 for utilities, $19,000 for Snap. If you got Snap as well, post in the live chat, and we're just getting started. And we are only 12 minutes of this video. The next part of the money is the refund check coming back from your states due to overpayment of unemployment benefits and a computer error. Where's it landing? Direct deposit. Can you track it? Yeah, contact your state. Say, hi, state. Where's that check due to overpayment and computer errors? And can you turn on your computer when you track it? It just sort of helps. And finally, the last wonderful pot of money. It's the refund check coming back from IRS. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. I'm so excited for you. In fact, Mark number 2 says he got it as well. I think his number was about $1,400. IRS tells us it's a waivable check. Don't tell Mitch. Don't tell the person on the beach either. It just won't wave back either. It's a waivable check. The latest wave is $1,265. Deliciousness. The direct deposit started July 14th, and the paper check started July 16th. There's a new wave every week. Deliciousness. Now, before we continue, here's something you need to know. Personal message. If you're in the live chat and you've not posted your success story for rent, utilities, or Snap, please do. Because when you do, you help people, because that's the spirit of this channel. People loving people, people helping people, people making friends, the Purple Power community. That's the spirit of love and kindness. And when you post your success story, a stranger sees it and says, I think I should get it. Look, all these other people are getting it. I should get it. When they see you say it and they see me say it and they see the graphic, then they realize, wait a second, I should be getting these sums of money. They understand that now there's utilities out there. They see you posting the rent. You inspire other people, so do it right away. Post your success stories. Then when we see people like Art Sullivan who got 3 items, he inspires other people, like Nisi inspires people with 3 items. Nancy went out and got 3 as well. And then we get an update about the numbers, finally. When we see the numbers and realize the Snap has grown from 5,000 to now 19,000. The rent has gone from 5,000 to 25,000. We realize the numbers are bigger than ever before. Let's continue with that unemployment benefits. So where's that landing? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. How much? Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 in taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah. Contact the IRS and go to irs.gov and do a transcript search, and it'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. And then 70% of the time, it will reveal a little bit more. It'll reveal when Ron Portman was on Star Search. Was that really his hair? Or was it a San Francisco hair salon special? And finally, a reveal the refund check you're getting 70% of the time. Wow, can we top that? We can, as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under the fourth stimulus recon. You notice all these people who got all these fortunes of checks under third stimulus that was this big? They got $30,000. Imagine now that fourth stimulus is now this big and it's $3.5 trillion. It's incredible. How did they do this? Well, they did this because originally the recon had roads and bridges in there. And that was before July 4th. They asked the Democrats, would you pass it? No, it's too big. Take the roads and bridges out. So they took them out, and it made the recon passable. And it actually made the bipartisan passable as well. That's where those roads and bridges landed. We have that confirmation from a conservative publication, op-ed, and it confirms my reporting. It says the following: the higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go, confirmation. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon and put it into the bipartisan roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Well, it's also vice versa. The recon also made the bipartisan passable, and now they're both getting passed. Leader Schumer confirms they're both going to get done into law by the August recess. Wow. How did we get here? Well, once the recon had been shrunk, the Democrats started to add stuff back in and make it a little bigger and bolder, and that is where it landed. $3.5 trillion. Incredible, great news. A big, bold number. This is what they wanted, and they got it. Representative Elon Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, progressive, said, we got to have a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, Elon, $3.5 trillion. And then Representative Richie Torres said, I have to have a larger recon. You got it, Richie, $3.5 trillion. The progressives were meeting with the White House daily to ensure that the recon went big enough and bold enough. They got it, $3.5 trillion. Now, how did they do this? By protecting the recon. The president said, the progressive priorities that are in the recon are my priorities. Protect them. That's what they did. In fact, Brian Schatz, Democrat out of Hawaii, and Jalapal, Democrat out of Washington, confirmed that, quote, the White House told them that, quote, the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon their priorities. Wow. Incredible, great news. So what is a recon? Now, how does it become a bill? How does it become voted upon? Who writes it? And what's the difference between recon and bipartisan? Yesterday, I was watching one of my favorite anchors, Andrew Ross Sorkin. He was on air and he said, that infrastructure, that's $3.5 trillion. I'm like, no, Andrew, that's the recon, that's $3.5 trillion. And the other one is not the recon. Yeah. So here's what I need you to do is take a look at this to understand the terminology. On this channel, I only use two words, recon and bipartisan, but the broadcast media uses other terms. And so I want you to be educated because they're messing it up. And I want you to hear what it is in case you get confused by watching them. Recon is also called reconciliation. It's also called the budget bill. The price tag is $3.5 trillion. You'll recognize the people quoted in the article about it, like a Bernie or an AOC or a Nancy. Number two, the bipartisan is called the roads and bridges, also called the infrastructure. Recon also called the budget bill. But the bipartisan infrastructure has a smaller price tag, $1.5 trillion approximately, and you'll recognize it by the people quoted in the article about it, like a Kristen Sinema, Mitt Romney, Ron Portman. That's all easy, isn't it? When you hear the terms, they're easy. So who writes the recon? The recon is written by Democrats for Democrats and be passed by Democrats. Here's what you need to know is that we're approaching the finish line. I need to repeat something that's something sort of obvious, but you need to sort of hear it again. No Republican is going to vote in favor of the recon. No worries, because we have all the Democratic senators voting in favor of it. So you're going to see all 100% of Republicans vote against the recon. No worries. Who writes the recon? The recon is written by the House subcommittees. Under the Constitution, the House subcommittees are delegated different subject matters. And when they write it, they write it. House Ways and Means is responsible for stimulus checks and unemployment benefits. When those subcommittees are done, let's say it's 10 of them, they send their pages they wrote, let's say it's 10 of those, up to Chuck, 100 pages. He puts a big S on it. What's that S for? Sugar-coated, salty, seductive, slow. Yeah. Too slow. Yeah. So what? Schumerish, Laverne and Shirley. No, it's for Senate. It's for Senate, and that's when you have the bill. But before that, let's back up. When they're working in the House subcommittees, they don't have to show you what they're writing. There's no constitutional requirement to see what they're writing or taking in or taking out. And until we have the bill, we don't know what's in there. That's what broadcast media confirms and I confirm. So if you hear someone say, I haven't heard because we haven't seen the recon. But when we see the recon, which could be tomorrow, it could be tomorrow. When we see the recon, it's not law yet. And I'm going to hit that really hard at that point because they're going to modify it. Who? The Republicans? No, the Democrats. The Democrats are going to modify what other Democrats wrote. I'll explain that later in this video. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck called the vote on the recon. Well, they are. They're about to call the vote on the recon. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats who are part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, Mr. President, put monthly stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow, purple power. Keep these people their promise. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee, the same one we just went over, recently wrote the president saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. OMG. Purple power, you have to keep these people their promises. They're promising you monthly forced stimulus checks under the forced stimulus package. Can we top that? We can. As Biden did it. About 7 weeks ago, he went overseas for a global signature. It was a ceremonial signature, not the real deal. He did the real deal just a few days ago. And what was it for? For a very confusing, exhausting tongue twister. And the reason why it's great news is because it's not in the recon, because it's too confusing. It's the global minimum corporate tax rate minimum. Are you exhausted now? I am too. Who needs NyQuil? It's great news because it's not on the recon. Number one, easier to call the vote on the recon because it's not in there. Easier to vote on the recon because it's not in there. Easier to vote on the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. And easier to pass the recon because this confusing thing ain't in there. Can we top that? We can. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video with breaking news about one of the 2 paths being called for a vote on Saturday. Which one? Does that mean that one's going before ours? I'll explain everything you need to know. It's very detailed. It's a little complex, but I'll explain it to you in the final 15 minutes of this video. Then we go over the amendments, which amendments, when we see the recon, why the recon is not final and will get modified. And we have all the deliciousness of the $3.5 trillion of checks coming to you. It's coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. Something also delicious, the volunteers. If you had problems finding rent, utilities, food, and internet more, and you've tried to find it, you can't find it, don't worry. The spirit of this channel is viewers helping viewers. Reach out to the community page. Where are they? In the description of this video. Open the description. Go down, you'll see a link, you'll see an emoji of a house. Click the link, it'll send you over to the community page. It's news.lalate.com/community. And on the community page, the volunteers are separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They'll help you get that big pot of money. And here's a little bit about them. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA with a lot of breaking news as we go into a weekend and actual bill voting on Saturday. Boy, I told you it's going to be a big weekend, so stay with me all weekend long. The Congress will be working on the legislation and getting it to a final vote this weekend. So don't cash out and come back on Monday and say what I missed, because there'll be too much to miss. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Thank you for all the incredible 200 new Purple Hawks in just one day this week. Meantime, coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. Stay on this video. It'll automatically take you there when this video's over. You don't have to lift a finger. Just stay here, and within 7 seconds, take you to Overnight's Crypto as well. And with that, let's cut to what the president had said during the campaign trail, but what he did not deliver. That is the SSI and SSDI reform. During the transition papers, he also promised as well, and he didn't deliver it either time. So what's happening? Well, the Democrats are taking care of it for you. This is the SSI reform, and this is fifth stimulus. We're less than 30 days away from starting to see this drafting. Fifth stimulus will be drafted in September to November, and then call for a vote in November. The legislation will raise your SSI, SSDI, VA benefits up, and that lift up would be in November. Then the benchmark applied in December for next year's benefits. How does this work? Number one, they'll raise your benefits up. Number two, add inflationary benchmark. Then remove the asset limits, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over all the details starting right now. Whose benefits get raised? Yours do. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, multiple beneficiaries get raised up one big time. Number two, they apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation, and they apply it in December for next year's benefits. Where is inflation going? It's going to be transitory, says Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve. What does transitory mean? It's a fancy word to mean a temporary spike. When? In December. Yes, right when they apply your benefits. It's incredible, great news. So how high is it going? Well, it's going to 5% is what I've been reporting. Broadcast Media has been reporting that as well. We had a lot of economic data where I detailed earlier today on Afternoons LA and also at noon LA. I don't repeat it right now, but it was really, really strong economic data, both about unemployment, lowest unemployment numbers, great number on job creation numbers. So really, really strong numbers showing massive growth. So I think 5% is a really correct number. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply a benchmark. And let's say it's 5%. You'll step up another 5%, not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step back down. If the inflation rate is 2% the year after that, you'll be plus 2, plus 5%. Then they're going to move the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and also have more than $3,000 in hand. Time to have some Crayola crowns in their hand. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away, and you'll be able to do a pair dance at your own wedding. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to do the pair dance, no longer fear a loss of benefits. And if your benefits were lost before, they'll be restored. And that's fifth stimulus. There will be another stimulus check the House Ways and Means Subcommittee members represent. That'll be for next year. But here's what you need to know, is that if you're in the live chat and you have not become a member, what are you doing? Hit that join button right now. Purple Hawks are in the live chat right now with that hawk emoji next to their name. Here's what you need to know, is that daily I deliver to you a breakdown of all the big monies for you to get under third stimulus. When second stimulus became law, I told viewers, or even before it became law, I told viewers, do not focus on a $600 stimulus check. It will land eventually. Focus on getting the other sums of money under second stimulus. I said I can get you $6,000. I did it. I got viewers $15,000. Then when third stimulus hit, viewers understood the messaging. The Purple Hawks were born, and I said, Hawks, you need to pounce and get this money. Do not sit around, I said in January, looking and tracking and looking at the calendar for when the $1,400 stimulus check comes. I said pounce and get the $5, $10, $15, $20,000 money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now. And now you've seen what viewers have learned from me, that these stimulus packages have tens of thousands of dollars for you to get, and that you should not be holding a calendar waiting for a stimulus check. These are the sums of money you should be getting. $27,000, $22,000, $18,000, $10,000, $32,000, $50,000. These are the sums of money you should be getting from these stimulus packages because the government put it in there and it's for you to get. It makes no sense but to get this money. Otherwise, if all you're doing is watching a calendar, you're passing up tens of thousands of dollars for you to get. So consider becoming a member so you deliver daily from me a breakdown of all this incredible information. What's in third stimulus, all these incredible sums of money. And when fourth stimulus becomes law, we're going to go from a third stimulus like this to a fourth stimulus like this of 3.5 trillion. And I'm going to focus on getting you every single penny in that as well. And with that, we cut to the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now with that recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you in one of the historic days of the American landscape. Bernie Sanders calls this a historic day. You should be celebrating. It's $3.5 trillion of checks in that recon. It's all checks for you, all progressive checks. Bernie Sanders says it's one of the best days. He's been trying to do this for a generation. Now, while we do not have the recon, we have some of the provisions that are in that recon checks, and let's go over them right now. Checks for free school meals for all, checks for tax breaks, checks for cheap prescription medication, checks for immigration reforms, checks for farming, checks for elections, checks for the internet. Then we have checks for clean energy. We have lots of checks for workers and checks for seniors. Checks for workers, checks for independent contractors, checks for unions, checks for seniors like Medicare expansion, lowering the eligibility age, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for seniors, and checks for hearing care. There you go. Wow. And when we see that recon bill, we can see all those other checks. Let's cut over to the bipartisan, the roads and bridges. The roads and bridges bipartisan bill debuted in the Senate early this week on Monday. Throughout this week, they've had amendments, which is great. They're doing it first, the amendments first in the Senate. And those amendments some of them were just to kill the whole legislation. You don't want it killed because it has to be passed with our recon. And they blocked those amendments. There's one about the VA and the defense. It may slide in. So what's happening on Saturday? On Saturday, they will meet, the senators, and they will vote to make the roads and bridges law. They're having the final vote in the Senate, not the final vote for law, but the final vote in the Senate on the bipartisan. They're meeting for a funeral between either Friday or Saturday because one of the fellow senators has died, and that's why they didn't get this vote done on Thursday night. Now, here's what you need to know, is that no cause of concern that they're calling the vote on the bipartisan in the Senate first before the recon, because the Republicans and the Democrats both confirm, even Ted Cruz says, as soon as the infrastructure gets passed by the Senate, the next day they're going, or that same day, they're going right into the recon. Now, here's what I'm going to break down for the first time on Evenings LA for you, because this is very, very important. There's only one place there's two places that are critical as to which goes first or which goes in unison. Number one, the president's table in the White House. The president confirms that he will not sign the bipartisan without the recon also on the table. So the president is made it very clear he's not going to leave your recon by the side of the road. Absolutely not happening. As to the bipartisan, he says, as to the bipartisan, if it only comes to me, and that's the only one that comes to me, I'm not signing the bipartisan. There you go. Then he also says, I'm not signing the bipartisan bill and forgetting the rest of what I propose, the recon. I propose a significant other piece of legislation, the recon, and that it is equally important. Great news. All right, let's go to the second most important place, which may be a little bit even more important than the president. I'll probably put this first. It's Nancy. The House of Representatives will not call for a vote in the House, the bipartisan, the roads and bridges, if it does not have the recon in the House as well. So this is sort of the reverse of what happened in 2020. Nancy Pelosi in 2020 kept on passing a lot of legislation like the HEROES Act and sending it to Mitch McConnell in the Senate, and Mitch would just take it and throw it away, say, I'm not going to call Nancy's stuff for a vote. This time she's doing her version of that. So if you try to only send Nancy just roads and bridges and no recon, she's never going to call for a vote. She's actually said that, and she can do that. She has the authority to do that, and she will do it. So that's to say you have to send her also the recon and the bipartisan. So which one gets called for a vote that's the first part of what Nancy's doing. The second part of what she's doing is she's saying you have to have the recon sent to me first before the bipartisan, so that I can call it for a vote in the House first before I call a vote from the bipartisan. As I said, there won't be a bipartisan bill unless we have the recon bill first, plain and simple. In fact, I use the word ain't. There ain't going to be a bipartisan bill in the House unless we have the recon bill passed by the U.S. Senate first. Great news. And then we also have Jalopal confirming that the House Democrats won't pass the roads and bridges unless they have the recon first. We did a poll, or at least concurrently, we had a poll of our members that they're not going to vote on the bipartisan without the recon. So to recap, and then let me back it up one more step. So the last step is then the Senate. Does it make a difference that they're voting on the bipartisan, the roads and bridges first before the recon? Not really. I would prefer the recon first. Chuck said it was going to go first, but they are doing the bipartisan first. So the issue of voting in the Senate one before the other is not as important as everything else that I just described. Let's recap. The president will not sign the bipartisan into law unless he has the recon also on the table. Number two, Nancy will not call the bipartisan for vote at all. We'll throw in the garbage can if you haven't sent her the recon as well. So those are the two critical issues across the board. All right, now let's go over the recon itself, its voting process, its bill, and everything around it. We may see the recon as early in bill format, as early as Saturday in the Senate. This is getting really exciting. What I need you to know, and laser focus on me, really laser focus on me, is that it's not law yet. We've had an incredible week that exemplifies how things get changed. When you see that recon, it will not be the final version of the recon, 100% guaranteed, because the Democratic senators and the Democratic House members say, I modified it. Remember, I just said Democrats. I didn't say Republicans. The Democrats who are in the subcommittees that have been writing the recon is just a few people. Other Democrats have not had their hands on it, and they say that. 50 Democrats in the Senate, 100 plus Democrats in the House. They say, I'm going to modify the language of the recon because I haven't had it. That's great news for us because the recon may be incorrect. It may need to get fixed, and they're vowing to fix it and change it. We're also going to see a firing squad of amendments from the GOP to try to derail the recon. Not much of a worry across that board. But the importance of understanding that the recon is going to get modified is exemplified in how the week ends compared to how the week started. We started the week with the President of the United States saying, I'm not going to extend the eviction moratorium. It's unlawful because of what the courts have said. And some people would have just sat back and said, see, he wasn't going to help you. I told you so. I'm not going to do anything more. I'm done. And then you just sit back and eat your donut. No. The progressives said, no, I'm not going to take a no as an answer. AOC, Nancy, Jolapal, all came out and said, no, you have to extend the eviction moratorium. You're wrong. And then Representative Bush out of St. Louis, 1st District of Missouri, Democrat, progressive, said, you know what? You're very wrong, Mr. President. I'm going to push. I'm going to push so loud, I'm going to sit on Capitol Hill and have protests for 3 nights. And she did it, and it worked. She embodied the true purple power spirit, realizing the eviction moratorium was over, but not over in finality, and that she was going to push and change his mind. And by the end of the week, we were totally different. Started the week with the president saying, I'm not doing it. It's unlawful. And the president ended the end of the week saying, I don't care. We'll try it. We'll go see what happens in the Supreme Court. I'm going to extend it. And there you go. That is the true embodiment of the purple power spirit. Finally, what's important for you to know is that the recon is going to really heat up very quickly. It's going to heat up very, very quickly. And if you've been with me since day one, you've seen when legislation starts, something is of $10 and suddenly goes to $2. Then it goes up to $20. Then the eligibility shrinks. Then the eligibility grows. Then it becomes multiple. Then it doesn't become multiple. They modify things a lot. And I've done a lot of recordings over weekends where legislators are changing things. Finally, the Senate session. I haven't done that in a while, in by maybe 2 days. So let me do, and I didn't do it today at all. So let me do it tonight on Evenings LA because I have about 2 more minutes of running time. Here's what you need to know is that the Senate is in session and they're exhausted. And that works in your benefit. They don't have a lot of energy to do a lot of amendments because they have been in Senate session now for one of the longest Senate sessions in nearly a decade. And they say, I don't have any more time. I don't have any more energy in my body to do these 16-hour days, 7 days a week. I've been doing this for weeks, Chuck. I'm done. So that's good. They're going to just finish. They're not a young group of 20-year-olds that are sleeping 9-hour evenings every night. No, they're just exhausted. So that's working on our benefit. Number 2, this House is not in session, but that means absolutely nothing. And it also means nothing if the Senate session's about to run over time. Chuck will keep them in session. That's first thing. Number 2, The fact that the House is on session means absolutely nothing either. Nancy or Steny Hoyer will call them back into session. I see some people posting a lot of comments about the Senate session, what day it ends, and when it's ending. Please don't play calendar games. I don't know why so many people are obsessed with playing calendar games. That's not how Congress works. I've been making 1,000 videos about it. Congress does not play calendar games. If they need to stay another day, they stay another day. He orders them to stay another day. If Nancy needs them back into town to reopen session, or they're down the hall and she wants to reopen session later that day, she does it. She has the authority and they have to do it. People are running this sort of comments as though this in session is voluntary. It's not voluntary. The Speaker of the House, the leader of the Senate, orders you to do something, you have to do it. It's not your say to say, no, I'm not going to work anymore. No, you have to. And that will get done. So please stay focused and stay motivated, because this weekend is going to be a big weekend. Going to be a big weekend. And with that, as we go into a big night, understand that Saturday we're going to have voting. Sunday we're going to have voting. We're going to see amendments. The vote-a-rama, which I didn't go in this video about just quickly, will be 2 days in the Senate side of the recon. So those 2 days of vote-a-rama will be very heated. I did not have live capabilities during the last Senate vote-a-rama in fall of 2020. Maybe I'll go live, maybe I won't, maybe it'll be boring, maybe it will. I don't know. But we have a lot of dramatics. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers are a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video to 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member so you become a Purple Hawk and get all these big sums of money. Like Mark II, who got $50,000. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening across the board. Stay with me all weekend long, because boy, if there was a weekend you want to tune into, it's this one. Have a beautiful evening and stay here on this video. Within 7 seconds, it'll take you to Overnight's Crypto. Have a beautiful evening and stay with Lalate.